and above, and that 439,974, representing 24%, scored 200 and above. So basically, we're looking at 24%, all right, of those who sat down for the exam. About just under 2 million candidates scored 200 and above. And our question this morning, what we'll be looking at this morning, is this: should secondary school students have restricted access to their smartphones, smart devices, and whatnot? That, ladies and gentlemen, is where our conversation is hinged upon. My name is Jude. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt. All right, so joining me this morning is Mrs. Emmanuel Prince-Usip. Did I pronounce that properly?
Yeah, Wakaku, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. And she's joined in the studio by one of her students. All right. We're going to talk to him later on, but let him just introduce himself. What's your name?
My name is Olufemi Olaoluwa.
Okay, Olufemi, I need you to come closer to the microphone. Don't be scared. It doesn't bite. Aha. Okay. All right. Now, say your name very, very boldly.
My name is Olufemi Olaoluwa. I'm from Ondo State, Nigeria.
Okay, Olufemi, right?
Essential.
Do you speak a little bit of Yoruba? Are you good?
Not really.
Yeah, but if I say Baoni, you want to say? Okay. All right, that's great for us. Now, we're going to talk to Olufemi later on, but we're going to start off with Olufemi's teacher here. She's the head co-director of a school, the Team Mission School here in Port Harcourt. It's a good morning to you, madam, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you join us. Now, everybody right now, it's on Twitter and Instagram, it is the number 1 or number 3 trending conversation for the past 24 hours in Nigeria. The JAMB scores are out. All right. And some parents are obviously in jubilation. Others are probably like, what's going on? Is it coconut that's going on in your head? We have to talk about this. Now, this is where we're getting our conversation from. Now, I just read the stats, and I'm sure most of you listened to it. So, 24% of those who sat for the examination scored 200 and above. And if you know anything about math, 24% is not particularly high, right? It's not particularly high. But this is where we're getting to, because we live in a time, 2024, where a lot of people, use screens, use the computer, use the internet as educational tools. I don't think anybody can deny that any longer. In some places, it's even more encouraged. After the lockdown of 2020, we saw more people going online classes, even for postgraduate studies, right? I have done courses online, all right? And I'm sure some of you have also done courses online. But as an educator, would you agree with what I'm about to read right now that says, as a mobile device, the smartphones with more advanced computing capability and connectivity than a feature phone, right, has posed problems for students who use it excessively in class? You are an educator. What is your stand on the use of smart devices in school?
All right, thank you very much. Really, I would say that while we cannot deny what technology has done for us in education and the vistas of opportunity it brings in both learning and teaching, we need to know that there's an aspect of it that we really need to regulate. Otherwise, we can actually lose whatever it is that is the advantage. So for me, smartphones are good, but if students are going to use smartphones and devices, it has to be under strict supervision.
A lot of people know that, okay, yes, they must use their discretion right now to monitor their children. We've had this for years, but we're looking at a time when everybody is posting books, assignments online. There are secondary schools here in Port Harcourt that you know of, I'm sure you do, where the teacher says, okay, I've sent you your assignment. They've sent their assignment to them by emails. How do you then restrict the child from having, that time on their devices?
All right. As an administrator, we actually, let me talk from the point of view of my experience.
Yes.
We don't use smartphones in that manner. Okay? In fact, I'm sorry to sound like this, but I don't even advise parents to give children smartphones in secondary school. I'd rather say if they have an assignment to do, if they have a research to do, they should use your phone.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Not their own phone, but mommy and daddy's phone.
Because that's going to at least put some form of restriction and supervision and limit the time. Okay? Because the distractions we have on the internet are way more than the good things that I get in there, especially for children who still need guidance and cannot really just restrain themselves so much. So for me, it's on the parents and on the schools to devise other means to still gain from the technology and from all that we have on the internet without exposing the children to the beasts that are out there.
Okay, now interesting you use the word to the beasts that are out there. I'm going to read an excerpt, all right, from this, and this is for everybody to listen, all right. Now, I didn't share this with her prior to her coming to the studio. This is my own personal research, and I'm only just feeding off her brain to see what she has done as an educator and some of the success stories that she has had from my experiences. Now, in relation to the learning of secondary school level, researchers have received negative outcomes and consequences. Is right here. I'm going to look at it. I've highlighted it. They have received negative outcomes and consequences of smartphones resulting from overuse of mobile phones, including a lack of sleep quality, poor learning, everyday inattention, attention deficit and academic procrastination, deterioration of personal relationships, and negative academic performance. But in the past decade, over the years, whether it was in the US or in America, there were studies to show that yes, we need to give our children these devices. What happened?
Well, really, like I said, it's kind of something that you don't get. This should make us do better, right? Even in JAM is CBT based and all that. Children who have smartphones this generation too should do better. But then we're seeing an opposite, and that's why I'm saying that if a child is spending an hour on the phone, honestly, if he is using 15 minutes for something productive, the rest is something that could be detrimental to his development, both academically and otherwise. So for me, the internet is not, there's no censoring of what your little child that is with that phone can. We have parental control and all that, but then nobody cares really about what faces them when they just press the phone. They have the browsers and all that. Just you as an adult, you just open your phone, see the things that just pop up.
Sometimes you just on adverts just pop up.
And I'm like, these children, this is what they have to face. We should still secure them until their minds are developed to the point where they can regulate.
Okay, now so let's talk about how your system runs in your school. So yes, I'm sure you have computers that maybe you can teach them one or two things. So how do you use computers effectively for your students?
Okay, let me start with our school operates in an environment that is rural. Okay. So even up until last week, there was no electricity in that community. So, but what we represent is the struggle to give quality and give our best in spite of whatever challenges. Okay, so in the school we have a computer lab, we have computers, we have access to the internet, and then we use them when we have to teach.
So is the computers, not smartphones now?
No,
not tablets.
Not tablets.
There are PCs where they can sit down. Okay,
and that's particularly not because we have a problem with that, but because of the environment in which we operate. Okay, and then the class, the economic class of the people we serve. Do you get what I'm saying? So just like I was telling Essential about his jam, assuming we had a laptop he could use at home, not just when he's in school doing his CBT practice. You can imagine that. If he had it and sleeps with it every other day, you can imagine.
It probably would be better.
Yeah.
But once again, you see, it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
The aim was, okay, let's provide them with more technology, to improve them. But we've seen now that with more technology, right, in this case with the smart devices, the tablets and the phones, they were not doing. And this, by the way, is not even Nigeria.
Wow.
This is not even Nigeria.
Wow.
This is from the US, where you would expect that, with technology everywhere, they should be doing really, really good. But they are not.
Wow.
They are not.
Wow.
So, in his case, and for a lot of the students, so you what your school does is that they come, you supervise them practicing. Now they go back home. Many of them may not have the tablets or PCs. All right, but what if their parents have smartphones? How do you convince their parents not to give this child more than 20 minutes of screen time?
That's what we do when we have meetings with the parents and all that, and in our general interactions or in the papers we send home. I have sent many times.
Oh, you still send letters?
I do, because like I said,
interesting.
I mean, like 10 years behind the city. Okay.
No, but I'm not even talking about if it was physical letters. But I mean, you have regular communications with the parents.
Yes, newsletters.
Okay.
Periodic letters.
Okay.
So we always advise them against that, because also even in class as a teacher, you notice that the children, either they are distracted or they are sleeping in class. Most times when I point to them, I say,
you're sleeping.
You're sleeping. You either spend too much time on TV or on daddy's or mommy's phone. So sometimes the parents are sleeping, they go pick the phone and stay up longer period. They even.
Wait, I'm looking at you because we are from a generation where we didn't have the luxury of smartphones. All right, so I can imagine me going to the sitting room at, like, say 10-11 o'clock when I'm meant to be sleeping, and I'm trying to snatch the remote control to watch TV.
That's junior. Children these days take their daddy's thumbprint and and go watch till there.
What?
That's it. So we always try to keep our parents on the lookout.
Okay, all right. So keeping parents on the lookout this morning. If you just join us this morning, I'm here with an educator, and we're talking about the smartphone usage by students. All right. Now, this is obviously a fallout from the recent JAM results from about 2 days ago. Today is 2nd of May. All right. So from April 29th, you could check. If you haven't checked, please go online, get through the media, and check your JAM score. You should have your JAM score. Now, what a lot of people have not been paying very close attention to, which I hope my guest is going to be shedding more light on, is how this technology that they get to use to improve the quality of education may actually be causing more harm. Now, she said they have restrictions. Now, we're about to go for a break. Let me ask you, what is your preferred time for your students to use the computers at school?
Okay, well, I would say now we have a timetable.
Okay.
When they have their computer science, or because we are also technical, we do technical subjects, so we have students who are doing computer craft.
Oh, okay.
So they write NAPTEP exams and they get certifications as computer skilled computer technologists.
Nice.
Yeah. So those ones, when they have their craft, they are in the computer lab, they are doing what they are doing. Then teachers are free to take their children to the computer lab or carry the laptops to the classroom if they have something to show them to the children. Then, but when we have other things they need to practice on the computer, then they can do that after school. There's a time.
After school?
Yes, that's after the major learning of the day.
But all of them supervised by a teacher?
Supervised. No, actually in our school, everything is supervised. In the classrooms, in the secondary school, there's a supervisor. You don't leave children on their own.
Okay, all right. So we're not leaving you on your own. We're going on a break, all right? Obligations have to be met. We're back.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeriainfo.
We'll be right back after this.
Sharp guy like to watch Premier League, FA Cup, Nigeria Olympics, BB Niger, and many more. Sharp guys sabi save money too. Even as cost of things they go up, GoTV subscription sef dey go up. As a sharp guy, reconnect before your subscription finish to enjoy price lock. E mean say you go fit pay the old subscription price for 12 months. Yes sir.
Here 90.3 Nigeriainfo PH. My name is Jude and I have guests joining me in the studio. Prince-Usip is here with one of our students, Olufemi, in the studio. All right, and I just gathered that he recently wrote this jam, right?
Yeah.
You wrote the jam. All right, okay. Now, it was a CBT examination, right?
Yes.
And they're all over the place. All right, good. Now, you've checked your scores?
Yes.
You have? What topics? What subjects did you write for jam?
Use of English, mathematics,
yeah.
physics, and chemistry.
So physics and chemistry. That sounds like you want to do what? Engineering?
Mechatronics.
Mechatronics. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, why mechatronics?
Okay, I actually aspire to be an aeronautical engineer.
Ooh.
So at a point I wanted to actually study aeronautics directly, but one of my physics teachers by the name Dad Wesley, he advised me that I should do either mechanical or mechatronics.
Okay.
Then after, my next degree can now be aeronautics, because that will now give me a very proper balance in the industry, so that my ideas are not just one way.
So let me get this straight. I think, don't get me wrong, I do think that's pretty sound advice, because I think a lot of us did not get the kind of advice that some of you are getting these days.
Yeah.
But you seem to have been directed based on your financial aim at the end. We're talking about, you were directed to do this so that you have a better chance of getting better jobs or whatever in the future.
Not really. It's just that I actually love the sound of airplanes, and just being around airplanes, I will not lie, makes me feel like.
Have you been around airplanes recently? Where been to the airport?
Yes, I've been to the airport.
You've flown?
I did not fly,
But you just
I just liked the fact that the massiveness of this, the largeness of this airplane flying in the sky without actually it falling down to the ground is something that I should be a part of it.
Okay. Okay. He wants to be a part of that. He wants to be part of the aeronautical industry. And I'm very pleased that your teacher directed you in that way, looking at mechatronics, and then later on you can get a degree. That's good. Chances are, like you said, your ideas are going to be spread. Your market value, economically speaking, when you're going to the labor market, is obviously going to be, maybe 4 or even 6-fold. I'm not sure. But you just wrote the jam. You use technology, right?
Yes.
You've checked your scores?
Yes.
What was your score?
346.
I'm sorry, what?
346.
Is the original score?
Yes, that's my aggregate.
Wait, Mrs. Usip. You sure? Remember last year there was this scandal where one girl had one result and everybody was shouting, and then Jam investigated. Is that his aggregate?
This is it, and honestly, it was short of my expectation for him, because he's capable of more.
Yeah, say it again. What was your score?
346. 346.
Out of 400.
Yes. And I'm actually not really happy.
You're actually not really happy?
Yeah, I was supposed to score above 360.
What do you mean you were supposed to score above? Why are you so sure that you should have scored above?
Because there's nothing there that they will set I'm not able to answer.
And his drills, he was doing well in the drills. So I
You
think
were
his chemistry dropped.
You were very confident. You were very, very confident. So 3, 4,
6.
and you are not happy.
I'm happy, but
You're not happy. Okay, all right. So we're going to leave it like that. All right, we're going to leave it at that. We have to take the news now. We're going to open the phone lines to you, mummies and daddies out there, because technology is here to stay. But apparently, it seems as though the one thing that we were told would help improve the quality of our education has somehow started to reduce the quality. People are getting distracted. People are getting addicted. People are getting a lot of problems from using smart devices. I'll get to talk to my guest again, ask him how often he gets to use smart devices and what he's learned so far from the restrictions. We get to talk to you as well as other co-educators. My name is Jude. Hello, Patako returns.
Headline News, Nigeriainfo on
92.
What? Yeah. That's my end. So, as you at the conversation, as we're going to open very shortly. All right. What's on so I said in your school and there's also supervision, and I find it interesting that you say you send newsletters, to parents, with suggestions, and obviously we're human. We're not going to get 100%, follow through with some of these things, but using him as a test case right now, how are you able to let the children know that this restriction we're putting on you is for your own benefit? Since everybody these days, I have my device here, I have 6 screens in front of me, right? And it's not 6, it's 10. But on any given day, right, my eyes are roaming through, all right? By the time the sports guys will come, those other 2 screens will become engaged. So everybody needs to be following something. And maybe that's why this research is showing that maybe children are not ready for this kind of commitment. But they want to. So how do you get to tell Olufemi now that, we're not giving you too much time because we want you to do this? How do you convince him?
Okay, it's an active interaction. It's an ongoing interaction between us and themselves, the students, because you need to get their minds into it for them to actually follow through, because you're not with them every other time. You're not with them at home. You're not with them in the night. But when children know that this is going to do more harm, it's something you're going to have eventually. But then this season is the season of your nurturing. We have to restrict some things. Your health, your eyesight, and every other thing is involved. And I also use myself as an example. I have a daughter who is in the university now. She passed through our school. She never had a phone until she got to the university. You get,
never had a phone or never had a smartphone.
Not a phone.
Not phone. Yeah. But some argue, and they've been very cogent reasons as to giving a child at least a mobile phone. It doesn't have to be a smartphone. So it likes to depend. You send a child to school, and maybe there's a traffic buildup, but maybe some incident happens. You can contact the child. Okay, you're meant to be call mommy, call daddy.
Yeah. What we do in the school, there's the phone in the office. Parents can always reach their children while they're in school. And then just last week, a parent said, "I want to buy a phone because I'm not always there." So when she gets home, I said, "Okay, you buy a phone that is not a smartphone. This
normal, normal."
So and once she gets to the gate, she hands it over at the office, and then when she's going home, she takes it so she can call to know where you are, so you pick her and all that. So for me, it's something that I have seen the ills, so I can't even. So they know what we're up against when it comes to their screen usage and all that. And I think that if we carry them along and also give them a little access, because it's alluring, the interest is there. Sometimes you give them a little access, they want to play a game and all that, but then it's strictly regulated and the time is very much limited.
Okay, so strictly regulated times there. Now, as we wrap up with this jam thing and open the phone lines for the listeners to join in, there have been several conversations as to why the results were not great. Look at the stats in front of me right now. 300 and above, 0.5%, not up to 8%. 250 above, 4.2%. 200 above, 24%. Below 200, 76%. Now, some are arguing that, hey, JAMB is not doing a very good job because the computer training is restrictive. There are so many schools that don't have the use of computers as often as even your school. You are already operating in a limited space because power is a problem. So for you to have that means you must be using a lot of money to run your generating sets or power backs or whatever, to have the laptops, operational for the children. In your case, solar, that's a lot of investment. So, for the average Nigerian, maybe this JAM score is reflective of where we are right now. Maybe we're not ready for the computer.
Honestly, it has nothing to do with JAM. I think JAM is doing a great job as being the one examining body that is actually the true test of what our educational system at this level is. Honestly, this is the true test. Because the rest of the... let me not go there. O-level exams, what this is showing is not JAM, it's showing our schools. This is our scorecard, okay? This is what we are producing in the secondary school level. We are producing 76% failure. It's a verdict on the schools and the teachers, not JAM. And not necessarily the students, because we are the ones to condition them. You condition, you can say a child is not serious. It's your job to make that child serious, because at their level, that's why they say they are under guards and supervisors until they become responsible for themselves. So it's a verdict on us. And then, for me, the major reason students are failing in JAMB is that a vast majority of Nigerian students don't write O-level exams on their own. They know. So both the teacher and the student and the school, they don't care. They just go to class. They know what happens at the end of the day. They are going to write these exams for these children. So when a child is not, where's the content that he's going to use for UTME?
So, but for UTME, they don't have that luxury because it's computer based. You sit down, so limited time.
Practice. Your daddy doesn't pay 4,000 on the day of maths, 3,000 on the day. No, you face it. Okay. So for me, JAM is. I'm like, wow, thank God that we have this. So it's a true test to show, because you see the students that are scoring below 200 go to their O-level results. It's A1 in this, A1, B2 in that. So they have certificates they can't defend. There's no content to get the score. So it's not a JAM problem.
Okay. We're opening phone lines now. Smartphone usage for students, secondary school students. More restriction, is it okay? How comfortable are you with your child using a smartphone? I have interviewed at least 50 odd students in the past year alone from different schools from this region. Many of them have very expensive smartphones. You see them when you go out to your fast food restaurants. Some of them have Instagram accounts and Twitter accounts and whatnot. Yes, the experience is there, but apparently the research is showing that a lot of them are becoming less sound academically and even socially. Let's hear from you this morning. Do you agree with this recent report?
The views and opinions Nigeriainfo. Let's talk.
On 92.3 Nigeria Info.
As always, please turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear, please do not make mention of it. And please keep your comments civil. 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. Permit me to repeat, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you will find us on Facebook and on X. Our WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. We're talking about smartphone usage by students. Do you support this recent research? And do you think schools should be doing more to control screen time? Zion is in GRA. We have John in Ajib, but let's hear from Zion first. Zion, good morning to you, please.
If the parents of this year whose students failed, if they know the truth, they will sue JAM. Because JAM deliberately failed the students.
JAM deliberately failed the students, really?
The madam in the studio said something about the child in the studio. Number one, this is awards. Active follow-up and drills. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
How many of these students in private school have the active follow-up? The child in that studio have the same follow-up. How many students of the Unity School that have no teacher, no school chair, no nothing, how many of them have this steady participation, like she said, the drill, that this particular student in that studio had? Let's tell ourselves the truth and forget all these sentiments we do when we come to public. Sir, let me be honest to you. It's even a crime for JAM to set a CBC test. Does the law permit JAM to do that?
Well, that's another conversation that we will analyze.
Wait, I'm on the floor. I'll ask a question. I want to also put it to you. It's undue influence. You are forcing the students against their wish. In our world, there is no active follow-up. They are not drilled, and you want them to go write exam on computers. Why don't you make it optional? Do you want to write your exams on computer? Come here. Do you want the old paper traditional way? Come this way. Why did you do it? And look at the clamor of the child there. He was unactive because he had no much time to even attend to most of the questions. Ask him there. He's there. Let him answer you. Did he attempt all the questions? Ask him. Because the question time were too short, 45 seconds. So you found out that the child of these brains cannot run fast to process these questions to answer them within 45 seconds. That is the active drilling. So active follow-up and the drill. Let us be honest and tell ourselves the truth. Most of these students that failed this exam, this JAM, are the ones from the public school. The ones that scale through are the ones from the private school that are doing well, that have the teachers and the structures, infrastructures and everything. Let's tell ourselves the truth. JAM should be scrapped, and we should not use JAM to determine the competence or the intelligence of the children. Give all the children equal opportunity. The same teacher, most of the teachers on the public school, they have family problem, emotional problem, family problem, relationships problem. Some of them don't even come to school to teach these children.
Oh, all right, Zion, thank you very much. Let's hear from John. Some very interesting points from Zion. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, please.
Well, let me be very honest with you. Dude, go to secondary schools in River State. I mean the public secondary schools, the government-owned secondary schools. Of the private schools in River State. So for Zion to say that it's because students who are in what they call private school that pass jam, that's the fallacy of basic generalization. And secondly, dude, if you allow students in Nigeria to write WAEC, don't assist them. 89% of them will pay.
Yes.
They call copy subject. They will pay. Like the woman in your studio has said, you cannot pour water into an empty basket. Go to WAEC. Why is it that children in hinterlands pass WAEC better than students in urban cities? Because in hinterlands, they go there, they do a lot of activities just to make sure they pass WAEC. Because some of those places, external invigilators cannot go there. So for me, this damn result is a wake-up call for our government and for most importantly parents who feel that every aspect of their child life can be influenced.
Yeah.
The reason why this result is the way it is because JAM made an announcement that if the father is caught with this and examination environment, he should be arrested. My cousin wanted to write JAM. The father was driving there. I told the man, if you go there, they will arrest you. Because I know what he will do if he gets to that place.
Okay, but John, following up on what you said, that yes, it's an indictment on some of these places. A big challenge has to do with the smartphones. Now, some don't have, some are spending too much time with it. How much time do you think the students should have?
That is the same thing we are doing now. The level of discipline, indiscipline in children now. See, how many homes you go that you see children by 7, 8 o'clock in the evening? You don't see them. Most of them are in their houses, in their rooms, pressing their smartphone. And you want them to hold their hands so that the whole educational system will be corrupt, will be collapsed. Them should do the needful so that people will now know that the result is end and not just give it.
Okay, all right. John, thank you very much for your call. Mr. Usip, the first caller did make some very interesting points. One, the disparity between areas where people have access to computer and areas where they don't. And he mentioned something that I think is very, very, very key. The fact that in your case, you have an active follow-up and there are drills. And we've heard so many times that particularly in the public schools, unity schools, the teachers may not even come. Assignments may not be regularly checked. They have other social issues, maybe parental squabbles at home. The headmistress is probably selling akara in the school as well. There are a lot of issues mitigating the efficiency of the teacher. And so that product, which is, his fellow students, may not be as good as other people.
Okay. I need us to know that education is a call. And so you don't have a business being in school business or school ministry if you're not ready to give what is required. Okay? Our present day education is not like what it was in our day. So if you're going to be a school, you're going to be a school that can give the children what they need to be able to compete in the present day environment. We can't be talking about paper when the world is as digitized as it is now.
But his point is, look, for those places where they don't have regular access, for the rural areas, why don't we make, the paper-based testing optional?
All right, let me ask you. In those places, don't they have smartphones? Like a vast majority of the homes in those places, there's smartphone usage. And then I need to make it clear that preparation for JAM, you see the computer part of it, of letting a child be able to face the CBTS is less than 5% of the work. The content the child needs is what the school should give daily for the 3 years the child is in senior secondary. That one can take just 2 days. I remember a year we didn't have the app for the drills and all that. I took my children, we were done preparing. We took them to a cyber cafe, paid for like 1 hour or so each person. So because they already knew how to use the computer, it's just to know what to press to say yes and no, go back, and that's all. It's not rocket science. And a child who doesn't even have that in school can use the parent's smartphone at home to do the drill.
But once again, what if this is the honest truth? There are probably millions of children who are in that disadvantaged position where they don't even have a parent who has a smartphone.
Okay. So your question is, should JAM now make it an offline kind of exam, paper exam?
Optional. That's what he's suggesting.
For me, that's going back like how many years?
Okay, all right. So let's read more. Once again, if you just join me, my guest this morning is Mrs. Usip, who is an electronics engineering graduate from UNN Osuka, and yet got further qualifications as an educator. She is the co-director, and particularly proud director of her student Olufemi Essential, who's here with me in the studio. We're talking about the usage of smartphones by students. All right, now, good morning, Jude. Technology in education is a double-edged sword. While it offers unparalleled access to information and innovative learning tools, it also poses risk of over-reliance, distraction, and inequity. To harness its power, we must strike a balance between digital advancement and timeless essentials, human connection, critical thinking, and physical well-being. By doing so, we can create a harmonious fusion of technology and education, empowering students to thrive in a rapidly changing world. This is from Divine Favor from Rumbekwe. I think that was very well said.
Beautiful, yeah.
Very well said. Yeah. We need to strike a balance. Now, using a smartphone can have both positive and negative effects on secondary school children. Here are some points. Pros: staying connected with family and friends, access to educational resources and information, developing digital literacy and technical skills. Cons: distractions from studies and social interactions, exposure to inappropriate content, cyberbullying, and online risk, potential addiction, and decreased physical activity. See, to ensure responsible smartphone use, consider setting boundaries and guidelines such as age-appropriate restriction, setting limits on screen time and app usage, fostering open communication and digital literacy education. Ultimately, it is essential to weigh the benefits and risk and having ongoing conversations with your child about responsible smartphone use. Ikpate Moses. Interestingly, Moses says the same thing that you said. You said it's an ongoing conversation with the child to let the child know this is why we are doing this when we are doing this. In my time, it is this or this. Nobody's asking you. No, you know how you say. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares. They've told you what to do. Good day. Parents are not doing their bits. Electronic devices are good if used rightfully and bad if used wrongly. The truth is that the students are not helping themselves to face the future. Any student who is not ready for modern realities should go into vocational enterprise. Well. We are almost out of time. We'll be wrapping up very shortly. Let me be very certain here. Okay, I think I can ask Olufemi. I always remember traditional names. Sorry. Okay. So let me ask you, which do you prefer to be called, Olufemi or Essential?
Call me Essential.
So okay, all right. So Essential works for you. Now, you've been listening to what the adults have been saying. All right. A lot of people are actually impressed at your score once again, which is
346
out of 400. So let's look at what you do with your screen time. So you've learned how to, use the computer basically to, do small research. But I was like you at one point in time, right? I started using big screen computers, in my time. I like to play video games. Don't you like to play video games?
Yeah, I like playing video games.
What video games do you like to play?
I play Dream League.
Okay.
Asphalt Nitro.
I've been playing Asphalt since it was first made 1.0. I started playing then. Wow. Yeah. It's pretty old, I know.
I love that game.
I know. I love car racing. I love cars. I get you. But, I haven't thought about it in years. But how do you feel when you can't play those games as often as you want?
It doesn't affect me. Because the way I was trained is that what you don't have, what you cannot get easily, or what is not your own, or what will cause you damage if used excessively, you should be able to discipline yourself as an individual to limit your access or your usage of such things. For example, I won't even think about it, but since it's there, I can get access to it. I'll play the game because they'll tell you all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. So that's my own philosophy. So at the point when I've studied and I've just cool out with games and storybooks and what have you.
I like storybooks. Let me share one piece of information with you and Mrs. Usip. Now, there was a research that showed that individuals who actually played video games were better at problem solving in real life.
Yeah.
So there are actually ways that there are certain types of games that you could play, right, that can actually improve your critical thinking. Yeah. And one of such games is chess.
Yes.
He's our chess champion in school.
Oh, really?
Won medal after every year, like 3 years on a row.
I'm scared of this kid. Anyway, well, thank you very much for joining us. Dennis is standing by, getting ready for the sunny side of conversation. Denise, 346.
I've been listening.
That's what this young man has. I didn't get 300 when I was in Jam. Let me just say that now. All right, did not get 300.
Science or art?
Science.
Interesting. Wow.
95 in mathematics.
92 in physics.
Mathematics is not my forte.
Anyway, what are you guys going to be talking about later on the
Gold digging.
Gold digging.
Why it's considered more of a woman thing? Is it really a woman thing, or is it the patriarchy card
that's being played?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I wish I could join you because I have. You know what? Let me go and eat. Come and join me because this is where they used to see me. My power is very, very high. Then, well, thank you very much, Essential Mrs. Usip. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you the very best. I would love to get to hear in the next 10, 20 years that you're one of the top most engineers that we have in this country. Yes, you will travel out. You will go speak to people, but you will come back home and make things work better for us. That is my honest prayer and wish for you. And for you out there, the listeners, thank you. Without you, this would not work. Your criticisms, your divergent views, your agreements, your disagreements, all make it worthwhile. Hello Pataka ends today. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll party like we've never partied before, all things being equal. Stay safe. Have yourself a wonderful morning. Good morning.